It remains to be seen whether there's going to be a second independence referendum. I think what we clearly need as a result of the Brexit vote is for Scotland's mandate to remain, to be respected. Now, what that means could be a range of different options. At the moment, it seems that the UK government are doing nothing to respect the fact that the clear majority of people in Scotland who voted to remain by 62%. The UK government could agree some other kind of arrangement for Scotland that keeps our relationship with Europe closer, as the people of Scotland wanted. At the moment, they're saying that they won't even consider doing that. I think we need to explore all of the options that are on the table, or that could be on the table, and if those are ruled out by the UK government, then it may be that the only way to resolve this conflict between 62% Remain and 55% to stay in the UK would be another vote by the people. Well, if what's happening is that the UK government has negotiated a hard Brexit deal that doesn't allow any kind of extra special arrangements for Scotland, and Scotland votes to accept that by effectively voting against independence, we would have accepted that staying in the UK means staying on that hard Brexit path. That will be the decision of the people. I won't vote for that. I'll argue long and hard that we'll be better off as a society if we maintain the high social and environmental regulations that we've achieved in Europe, if we maintain a single market, which means freedom of movement. We didn't vote to surrender our right to move freely within Europe and to go and work in other countries, as a great many people in Scotland do, or indeed to study in other countries and have skills available to Scottish businesses and universities from that within that single market. But if people do vote to accept that hard Brexit course, I'll be deeply disappointed, but that will be the decision of the people. At the moment, people in Scotland haven't had their wishes respected. This 55% and 62% results, they're not compatible. Well, if there is no voice for Scotland in this debate, I think that's deeply insulting, not just to the devolved Scottish Parliament or to the government, the minority government that now is in Scotland, but also to the very many people who voted in Scotland for Remain. Their voices are being silenced if we're not allowed to have any role in that process. Now, just this weekend we had a council meeting of the European Green Party here in Glasgow. Hundreds of delegates from European Green parties right across the EU and beyond. Other countries neighbouring the European Union, such as Turkey and Russia, were also present. The Council passed an overwhelming, unanimous resolution saying that Scotland should have a role in this process, and the way that people in Scotland voted should be respected. So I think there are prominent, supportive voices across Europe, across the political landscape in other EU countries that we need to engage with. We need them to be backing our corner, making sure that Scotland's voice is respected and is heard in the debate. Principally, yes, the negotiation process will be between the European Union institutions and the UK, not the other member states and not the other voices from within these islands. That's why we need to do everything that we can to ensure that our colleagues in other European Green parties and other parts of the political spectrum across other EU countries are aware of our position, understand what we seek out of this to maintain strong relationship with the rest of the EU and position in the single market at the very minimum, and that they respect the fact that our voice has to be heard. It really remains to be seen. I don't think anybody can say definitively what the answer to that question is just yet. But if Philip Hammond is serious about working together, his behaviour really makes you wonder what he thinks that really means. He came to Scotland. He didn't meet with the Finance Committee of the Parliament. He met with the government and with his own party colleagues in the Tory party. He didn't meet with the other opposition parties, despite the fact that he knows the Scottish Government is a minority government. And he should have been willing to engage with all the political parties right across the spectrum. He met with some of the Scottish press pack, but he wouldn't give them interviews. The Chancellor of the Exchequer refusing even to give interviews to the Scottish press pack. He gave one interview to Sky, not to the Scottish media, and told the Scottish media to piggyback off of that. I think most of the journalists who were present were pretty insulted and demeaned by that kind of attitude. And I think Scotland is insulted and demeaned by that kind of attitude. It's hard to see that his intention was anything other than to insult and demean people when he came here by refusing to engage with people in the way that normally happens in the political process. Politicians should speak to one another, should be willing to listen to one another in a spirit of respect, even when we disagree. Politicians should certainly make themselves available to the media to be asked the tough questions, and he wouldn't do that. So if he wants to work together, that'll be good, but he needs to change his tune if we're going to be able to believe